Hello everybody, welcome to Red Tool House. On this video, I want to not only talk about the fact that there's still land out there under $1,000 an acre, but I actually want to show some examples. Well, okay, you could possibly call this video a react video. Just a couple months ago or a couple weeks ago, I did a video about how we bought our land, $55,000 gross, timber, blah, blah, blah. I got it down to $200, $250 an acre. And what's interesting in the comments that came from that, I mean, the video took off a little bit, had a lot of comments, everything ranging from, wow, that's lucky, you guys are really lucky, you know, you'll never be able to find that again these days. That was 18 years ago, you'll never be able to get close to that these days. All the way to, oh wow, how do you sleep at night? You really ripped off that family, you stole their land type of thing. So, but what I want to do is just simply talk about how land is out there. And again, I know some of you guys, especially the people that are realtors, you hate it when I say this, or you just get aggravated when I say this, and it's not, I'm not lumping everybody together, but you can actually find good deals on land and not go through a realtor. Again, there's pros and cons of using a real estate agent, and that's how we got this land. We did not use an agent. But just in looking, just to show you how easy it is, I'm going to show you 3 live examples. I am going to block out the contact information simply because this video will stay out on YouTube for a while, and if it would happen to get traction, I don't want to be responsible for blowing up somebody's Facebook page simply because they were selling a property, you know, 6 months in advance, and people are still blowing up their inbox trying to figure out if this land's still for sale. But full disclosure, I pulled these listings just off Facebook Marketplace, just in greater central West Virginia, just in our area. Just did a quick Facebook search. Took me 5 minutes to bring these up. So I'm going to share these and just show you what is out there. And it's not just in West Virginia, but it's all over the place. Okay, the first property is, I call it Spencer property number 1. And again, those of you watching, you may not know anything about central West Virginia, so these names aren't going to mean much to you, but it's the details of the land that I think are more important than the actual locations. So Spencer is a little town in central West Virginia. It's, I think I looked the demographics, 2017, some data shows that there is a population of 2,111 people. Spencer is about an hour and a half from where I am. It's about an hour and 5 minutes from our capital city of Charleston, 58 miles outside of that. It's located off Route 33. Again, may not mean a lot to y'all. But this first property is 36 acres with 1/4 mineral rights. And in West Virginia, that's always interesting when they say 1/4 mineral rights. So you own 25% of the mineral rights on this property. Usually you'll find out nobody can tell you exactly where that 25% in is. Is a quarter of the property here, 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 all those type of things. So that's interesting. But the fact that it even has mineral rights in West Virginia to some degree is pretty rare. So 36 acres for $34,000. So obviously that's just under $1,000 an acre. So this property is, the individual selling it included a topo map of the property. So if you know how to read topo, you can see, okay, Troy, that's not flat land. It's West Virginia, of course it's not flat land. So obviously that's why you're going to see a cheaper per acre price. This topo map, it's my understanding this topo map series was back in the mid-60s. So this shows more timbered, or this shows a lot of timber on the land. The pictures the property owner shared shows some timber as well. So don't know if there's any valuable timber there, but there could be. There's also on the property a small house, and judging by the pictures, it is it's in rough shape. It's definitely a fixer-upper. It may be a bulldozer upper, but it's got a dwelling on it. It looks like the dwelling is resisting rainwater to some degree. 2-story house, old farm style. I don't know if you'd call that a Jenny Lynn technically or not. But it does have a dwelling on it. Does have some flat land. Again, does have some rolling hill there, it looks. So here's a perfect example of land that's available for less than $1,000 an acre. Okay, property number 2 actually is around that same area of Spencer, West Virginia. Again, you can Google this and see what this looks like if you feel so inclined. So Spencer, West Virginia, property number 2 is listed as 94 acres. But it was flagged at 110. In West Virginia, you see that a lot too, that the old survey systems weren't as good as surveying well before satellites came into play of all this rolling land. So That's what they say about ours. Ours is technically on the deed is 95.75 acres or something like that. And we've been told by multiple land guys that there's well over 100 acres plus in here. So 94 acres on the deed, $79,000. So again, well under $1,000 an acre. I thought this was interesting. This has access to public water, sewer, and electricity. Where it's located, just outside of Spencer, you have all those utility amenities. This property is raw. There's no residency on there. So there actually is an old RV that's hiding in the weeds. I don't know if that would come with the property. But you can also tell, there's, looking at the pictures the individual posted, you can see that there's some telltale signs of timbering being done. One picture in particular is what you'd call a log staging area. So you see this clearing. There's a butt pile in the foreground there. That's a butt pile of logs, not a butt pile. So those logs are there, and that's indicative of a logging operation. And again, just by looking at that picture, you could estimate within the last 10 years easily that was timbered. But it is a nice little lot. It looks like there's some decent flat land. Definitely a larger, that one section where the RV is a larger piece of flat land than I have on my entire 100 acres. So it was interesting to see that. And this land is a little more rural than the first property, so you'd add, if you're going to drive to Charleston, our capital city, for a job or whatever, then you would be driving an hour and a half roughly. Spencer has a Walmart, has a grocery store, has all those things, and I think technically in West Virginia, if you've got a Walmart, then you've arrived. So that means Spencer is an up-and-coming metropolitan area. So those are just two examples of property. Again, just spent less than 10 minutes, 5 minutes on Facebook searching property for sale, and those popped up. Again, not tillable farmland like you'd see out in the Midwest where everything's flat and you can use every square inch of that, but you're not paying the price per acre that you'd pay in those farming communities. But one more thing I wanted to pull and show is I found a piece of property that isn't under $1,000 an acre, but when you look at the details of this, you'll see why it's the price that it is. And I thought, man, this is a neat piece of land. So this is in a place called Normantown. And Normantown, West Virginia makes Spencer look like New York City. So Normantown is more rural. It's further out Route 33, what we call God's country out there. So beautiful land, very rural. If you like to be away from people, that would be the place to go. But it's 5 acres for $50,000. And what's interesting about it is, and here's the description I'll read to you, it's a house for sale on 5 acres, free gas. That's a big one right there. It's a free natural gas. That means it has active wells on the property, or storage, or right-of-way agreements, whatever. There's multiple ways people can get free gas. But free gas, has 2 trailers on the property, has a large barn with several small buildings, a 2-bedroom house with a possible 3rd bedroom, living room, kitchen, dining area, bathroom, and utility room. It says, this is a great property for hunters, and property backs up to accessible large acreage for hunting, deer always on property, priced for quick sale. But you can see through these pictures that these people are out of state. Blocked out their license plate, but I can tell that's an Ohio tag. So they have this property as a second piece of land. Looks like they're probably using it as a camp, a summer camp, something they can go through. They're gardening on it. The barn looks like it's in really good shape. The small farmhouse looks like it's in great shape inside and out. Just a very nice, quaint piece of land. Nice flat ground, rolling. Again, that area of West Virginia is not super steep. So it's got a nice lay to it. And you can see where they've been using it for small farming, even the old tractor there they have. So it's really interesting to see this, and granted, this Normantown property may have sold already, or it may sit there for a year, who knows. But at $50,000 with a house, with a barn, with this infrastructure already, and the free gas, while that's still technically $10,000 an acre, that is a heck of a startup homestead right there. 5 acres is 5 acres, but with that flat land, that free gas, and those amenities already in place, that's a buy this today, be homesteading tomorrow type of setup. So it's interesting looking at that. Again, just my search, my geographic search, just on Facebook, one online source to find land, just in 5-10 minutes be able to find that type of land listings. So for those of you that are looking for land, take advantage of all of these electronic sources, social media, Craigslist, all those things. Just keep scouring those things and search in other areas. Don't just, if you're not afraid to get up and move, search in areas. If you're in Wisconsin watching this video and you think, hey, I'll check out West Virginia, use that in your search. Use some of those criteria and you can find property like this. It's out there. So those of you that have commented and discouraged that, hey, Troy, there's no way in the world we'll ever find land, or you can only find land where we are for $4,000 an acre. Okay, that may be true. $10,000 an acre. One guy commented he's in Massachusetts and you can't buy anything under $10,000 or $12,000 an acre. Well, yeah, that's Massachusetts. I can understand how that would be that expensive. But if you're not afraid to move, you can really take advantage of cheaper land in other regions of the country. If you're stressing out thinking you're not going to be able to find your homestead land or anything you can afford, just know it's out there. Again, it may require you to move and get out of your comfort zone, but that land's out there. So just go on the internet and start searching. All right, take care, everybody.